Wassail Beautiful People. So, what a funny day this morning. The energy was very stuck, like a tail hangover from yesterday when there was very strange, tense, noisy frequencies. And this morning there's been a lot of winds of change. I mean, literally, the wind's blowing, and I've sat down to do this reading and I've struggled to get myself into a position where the computer's not in the sunlight burning up. But the wind has dropped briefly, and I imagine I'm just going to melt as I deliver this message. So, what's today's message about? I wanted to look at with you all this notion of the ballet that takes place, and it's kind of a ballet of the frequency of love. All morning I've been getting the energy of love, and I don't mean the love between lovers, but that's part of the energy. It's the expression of all the different forms of love that exist, and it's a ballet that's taking place between the inner planets of Mars, Venus, and Mercury. And in the mythology, if you take it from the fact that they imported the Greek mythology into the Roman pantheon, there's some interesting things to look at in terms of the fact that Venus had a love affair and was caught in bed with Ares by her husband Vulcan. Mercury was so in love with her and she spurned him, and so Zeus sent an eagle to steal her sandal. When she went to get the sandal back, he seduces her. They give birth to Aphrodite, who's one of the erotes, and that's the plural form of the spirits that deal with love, like eros, the singular. And there's different aspects of love. There's different motions and emotions that come with this energy. It's not as simple. The reason we're doing this is partly to show how the inner planets always move in very close proximity, but they all have a different motion where different planets lead. And we need to look at who's leading the pack at the moment. Well, that's Mars, and Mars has been leading the pack. And when you look at the astrology, from Pluto all the way round to Mars are all the planets in this lower half. And then the journey through that Mars and the other inner planets are about to take are empty houses. They're expressions that we haven't been connected into, experiencing. The feathers in those places haven't been ruffled for a while, because we need to just go back and remind ourselves of what's going on. When we had the stellium on the 11th of February, we had a big lineup of all the planets. So a lot of the planets were part of this new song that's being sung, that's part of the energy of Aquarius, the collective. But Mars wasn't there. Mars still has yet to move around, go past Pluto and enter into Aquarius. And suddenly Mars will be like, oh, okay, that's the new song we're singing. I had no idea. And yet the other planets are all kind of trying to talk with Mars and say to Mars, the song's changed, mate. You need to catch up. And Mars is like, I'm off. I'm leading the way. So we're going to look at some different things, but I just want to remind you of some numbers briefly, because we love a number. So on the 11th of the 2nd, when the moon moved into Aquarius and went into a conjunction, passing in front of each of the planets, Saturn was at 6 degrees, and Saturn's the ruler of this. Bear in mind also, in the mythology, Saturn, Kronos, in the original Greek, he cuts off the genitals. I'm not saying anyone should think about doing that. Of his father, Uranus, we know that's Gaia. And he throws them in the sea, and from the foam, Venus is born, an expression of love. So Saturn was at 6 degrees. Venus and Jupiter were both at 12 degrees. Mercury was at 16 degrees. And the sun and the moon were eventually together at 23 degrees. And that was this big energetic stellium tear that changed the frequency of the grander cosmos. Today, though, we're looking at personal motions, because a lot of these personal planetary movements that are taking place between these three planets is deeply personal, but also deeply troubling. So there's going to be some awkward energies, but it's merely the readings about trying to show us energetic possibilities that are flowing. And if you can see them in advance, you don't have to fall into the pitfalls. You don't have to be surprised. So with luck, that's what we're going to get. So as an arbitrary date, I'm just going to bring in the day, the 1st of July, because on the 1st of July, Venus is at 5 degrees of Leo, and ahead of her is Mars at 12 degrees of Leo. Mars likes it in Leo, it's fixed fire energy, and right at the moment Mars is kind of a rogue agent because he's not singing the same song as everybody else. Got an ant crawling up my leg, which is in its own way a sense of irritation. And then Mercury is way back at 19 degrees of Gemini. So the first day that we need to look at is the 10th of July, and that's when we have the new moon in Leo at 18 degrees. So on that day, Venus, she's running really fast, like Penelope Pitstop to catch up. 15 degrees. She's rushed into 15 degrees, and now Mars is at 17 degrees. She's getting so close, she's 2 degrees away from him. And now Mercury has moved from 19 degrees on the 1st to 27 degrees. So the beginning of this race is taking shape. And as we go through a few months to kind of the 9th of October, if I remember rightly, you're going to see how Venus will pass in front of Mars and she will talk with Mars. And then she takes over the lead. Now, bearing in mind that she will then lead the parade that's heading towards the return to the stellium energy, we need to find out how Mars is feeling about that. And then at some later point, which we'll get to, and I'll give you the dates, Mercury will pass in front. But the thing about Mercury is, if you think of it in the mythology, Mercury is the spurned lover. Mercury is coming across constantly to me as Loki, as trickster energy. It's almost like a wind-up merchant somehow. So we're going to look at the 10th of July. I tried to do this reading yesterday, but the energies just were not around. There were distortions, blockages that wouldn't allow me to crack into this. Boy, there's a lot of sweat coming. But I do have plenty of water, Hannah Spanner. So, I was trying to avoid the Odin deck because I felt, look, we're dealing with Roman and Greek mythology, and this morning they were like, you have to use the Odin because the whole point is we're looking at archetypal energies. So this morning they were showing me how to do this, basically. And while I was doing it, I can't tell you how many flies were around me. Oh, bells. So let's just have Neptune's bells, because Neptune's just gone retrograde. That's the other thing we need to mention. The last time we had a big lineup of all the planets going sort of retrograde, it was when the three lords of karma, Saturn, Jupiter and Pluto, were all in the restrictive, controlling frequency of Capricorn in terms of the big energies. And now only Pluto is there, and Pluto's gone so far through Capricorn that Pluto knows where it's heading. And I keep getting this energy with Pluto of love. I can't express enough that this morning every card coming out was to do with understanding, changing and transmuting the energies of love on many, many levels. So, Neptune's bells. Interesting. The first bell was very clear. The second bell was like being pushed. And the third bell softened, but its resonance really began to ripple out, like it was being given a boost of Jupiter to energize it. And Jupiter is about to slip from its home where it lives also with Neptune. Neptune and Jupiter are at home at the moment in Pisces, and Jupiter's retrograding back into Aquarius with Saturn. So, can you please express to us, let's start with Mars. I'm going to put that book over that way because it's blowing in the winds of change. Mars! What do you want to tell us, Mars? How are you feeling? What's your game plan, Mars? What's going on in the universe with you, your little rogue agent? It's like Mars is... it's almost invisible, but very visible, because Mars is still in the old Earth energies. Everyone else, aside from, you know, Neptune, Ceres, Chiron, they've not been in the stellium yet. And slowly as they all move, the frequency of everything is changing. But it's a cosmic ballet. So Mars. Oh, Mars has got a few. Mars starts with... oh, can't go... oh, there we go. Mars starts with Petro. Okay, this is cosmic beingness. Oh, actually, this is one of the symbols that Reem's working on next in the rune series. She's working on this one, and which is actually called, in the old words that we're using, it's called Perth, and she's working on Sperth as well. But they're interesting because these words have no connection. Anyway, we're not on runes. So this is about taking flight. It's about running towards the fire, the sun. Mars has its own inner compass at the moment, is what they're saying. It's spread its wings and it's just off. It's not aware that there's something new. So it's like it's in its own singular cosmic beingness, and it's in Leo, it's in fixed fire energy, and it's spreading its wings, and Mars is like, yeah, I love this feeling. And then we have air and Frigg. So these are talking about energies that Mars has yet to see. Mars has yet to see the healing of its destiny. It's not looking at its destiny. They're saying to me there's something about a significant change in Mars's frequency that's coming around the 4th of December. I don't know. They're just... it's very strange, but very recently, for the last couple of months, timings in tarot are very difficult to pin down. And just recently, my guides just seem to keep wanting to just throw dates in my head and just go, it's that day. And it's very odd because it's not an energy that, as readers, we like to trust. But they're saying 4th of December, which is obviously the December solar eclipse. But there's something about the healing taking that long before Mars will begin to allow the energies of its own destiny to fly in. It's interesting that they're not quite, but they're pointing to me the fact it's like the energies of Hugin and Thunin, or Huggin and Thuggin, as I always call them, the two Odin's two crows. They sort of represent shadows and light, and they go out and they look at the whole world with a yin and yang perspective. It's like the moment Mars can't see the other side of the frequency. So we're going to get Tall Thoth out and just ask for a little bit more. I don't want that one yet because I'm going to rifle them. As I started shuffling them, I was like, you need to rifle them. So, Mars, 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 Mars. Oh, you can't have that many Mars. That's just greedy. See, in my head, they're saying he's not greedy, he's selfish. They keep showing me a glimpse of the Ace of Pentacles. Twice now, it's gone to turn over and it's folded back into the deck. It's saying that the new energy of Mars doesn't come yet. There's energies it's got to go through. We've got Mars in Aries. We've got Mars at home. Ah, that's so beautiful. Mars doesn't reach the stellium tear until the 5th of April next year. Mars won't really be at home and in alignment with the energies until it reaches that point next year. We're all being told we've got to understand cosmic timing and be patient with it. That's the key to moving through everything at the moment, is to not allow fears of old patterns to rise up and be the instigator of walls being built around you. You see, I'm getting that ant on my leg again. That little irritation. I chuckle because I've never been very patient. I'm not a manana person. I'm not like put it off till tomorrow. I'm like, do it now. Do it now. And I've learned recently that it doesn't matter. There's a divine timing, and if you can just accept the divine timing, all the magic, all the wonder, all the joys that you can experience in life that the cosmos has for you just begin to amplify. And it's beautiful and it's very calming. And I would like you all to be able to try and let go of the fears of change, because that's what they're saying. This is Mars has a fear of the change because Mars doesn't understand how beautiful the new song is. So one more card please for Mars. Oh, there was a little flash of toxicity there. 7 of Cups. All the melting energies. Oh, there we go. 3. Oh, how interesting. They're the other way around, but they're immediately saying, look, it's the 3 of Swords and the Ace of Swords. So we're talking about this expression of heartache coming into clarity, understanding how to change our emotional perception of what love is on every level. But it's also pointing out it's the fluidity of 13 frequency that Mars hasn't yet got under its belt. We've got Saturn in Libra. So it's talking about how the balancing act will begin to take place on the 9th. It doesn't form properly because we've still got other energies to get through, but that's the beginning of the change. And then we've got the Sun and the Moon in Sagittarius, and this is also to do with the 9th of October. So that's really interesting. There's something about the balancing in the 9th of October that's bringing us towards that new solar eclipse. Mars gets a better balance and understanding. And that's interesting because I think on the 9th, we'll get there, we'll check the things. At that point, Mars Mercury overtakes Mars and then goes past, and then Mercury goes retrograde on the 27th of September and passes back through past Mars again on the 9th, but it's also a point when there's Venus and the Moon go into a conjunction. It's all to come. So now we need to have a little look at Venus. Venus, Venus, Venus. Venus, Venus, Venus. Venus has got it done. Inner health, inner beauty, inner understanding, balance. But they're also saying poisoned apples. Why? We've got that single crow again. It's like the energies are not together. Mars and Venus are not together. She's chasing him. She's saying, I've got a new song for you. I'm going to sing you this new song. Mars not interested. I've got an inner compass again. The point is that the inner compass here has more lines to it. It's more certain. The inner compass on Idun has only the 4. It's a different inner compass tune. It's not that it's less certain, it's just that it's more simple, it's more understanding. So what else, Venus, please? What else, Venus, please? What else, please, with Venus? Oh, looky here. I knew that one was going to come. They kept showing me it on the bottom of the deck, and I was like, oh, look, it's lovely Elfamir. This is... I don't know, you can't see it very well. This is the elves live in the highest realm of heaven, on the Yggdrasil tree, in the 9 realms. And elves are really not beings of the physical world as created by the Norse gods. They are from another place in the esoteric soup of the cosmos. And they're so beautiful, they're more shiny and more light than the sun itself. So the inner beauty, they're showing me the crow. They're saying to me that this is the changing frequency of what I talk about as Dark Eve. That desire that's been placed on women under the energy of Eve to have a sense of manipulation to get your way. And this is about the energy of Black Moon Lilith taking flight. And Black Moon Lilith shifts. She's been in Taurus all the way since the Stellium tear. She was in Taurus. She's still in Taurus. But she's the energy, the true original frequency of women's, females' consciousness within the physical body of the female gender. And it's taking flight in the new air epoch. So let me just see if I can find out when she shifts. So the 21st of July, she moves into 0 degrees of Gemini. And at that point, it's all part of this dance. That's when the energies of what is our physical and what is our consciousness, what is masculine, what is feminine within us, gets blown wide open so that we can start to go inside and sweep up and clean up. So let's add some tarot, please, to Venus. Venus. Okay. Venus has got the 10 of Swords. She's trying to bring an ending. She's trying to bring a change. And there's the small tiny heart at the base of this card, and there are 8. I just need to look at something. They're talking to me about 8s and 2s. What's the relevance of the 8s and the 2s? I really am not sure. Eights and 2s. Oh, Venus moves into Virgo on the 22nd of July. And she's not happy in there. Oh, that's when she's got to fight. I get it now. And then the 8s. What's the relevance of the 8s? Is there a relevance of the 8s? Show me, reveal the legend. I'm not seeing the 8s. They're talking about it being the 2s, the pushing through, the 2 knives cutting through the old frequency. It's like Venus is going into a place that she's not comfortable with, but she's being given the assistance of, oh, hang on, that's it, see, aha. 21st is when Black Moon Lilith will go into Gemini, and the day after is when Venus moves into Virgo and tears open that mutable earth energy to bring a change. So they're saying don't ask any more for that moment. just get on with Mercury. What's Mercury's part in this little dance at the moment? What's Mercury's part of this dance? Now that is confusing me. Freya. So this is the card of love. Venus in true mythology comes very early on from the Sumerian and the Babylonian and the Hittite cultures, I think, if I'm right. And she comes from there, importing their original energies when she was Astarte and Ishtar. So it's about, I want to say that Mercury is playing a kind of game with love. Playing a game with love. He's got the same inner compass as Venus. It's like he's singing the same song as Venus. But there's something hidden. There's something hidden about it. It's like, I want to say it's like a love wind-up that Mercury is providing. Let's just see if we can get another card for Mercury. Well, we can get another card, but let's just see what it says. Mercury, Mercury, Mercury. Come on, mister. Mercury and Venus gave birth to Hermaphrodite, which is Hermes and Aphrodite. And they're sort of saying to me, it's the notion that we need to understand that the reaction to the true emotions of love should be the same in both genders. There we go. He's got Muspelheimir. This is Ragnarok energy, frequency. And in many ways, we're in a period of Ragnarok. We're dealing with the transference from the Great Mutation last year on the 21st of the 12th, 2020, when we moved from a 200-year epoch of moving all the time Saturn and Jupiter between Earth signs, and we're moving now, we've moved to air. And so it's bringing the fires of love, the fires of passion. Mercury is bringing it, but with a sense of low-key, cheeky, tricksterish magic. So, what would you like to add to Mercury? Oh, this sun is getting very hot on me. I feel like Sutra is blowing the fires from Muspel, the primordial heat, all over me. Yeah, you see, look, we've got the card of lust, which is strength. But this is also about loving power and passion. But there's something about Mercury bringing, it is a wind-up. It's like Mercury's preparing to tease Mars. And that's going to cause Mars some disturbances. And it's really about the energy, the moon, there we go, that's what we're on. The moon in Cancer. The moon in Cancer is today. How beautiful. Well, not today. It's on the day that we're doing in the cards, 10th of July. So there's something about the passions will start to rise within the soul. It's like the first stirrings of a new understanding of how emotions could be once we all get settled into the new frequencies. So we're going to move on to the 13th of July, and the reason we're doing that is because that's the day that Venus goes conjunct. She catches up with Mars and she whispers something to him. So what we're going to do is just simply ask, oh, hang on though, before we do that, let's just throw, since the moon came up in Cancer, let's just throw a Moonology card down on that to just talk briefly, what does the moon want to add? Because the moon's always playing with all of the inner planets, because it passes by them once every month. What does it want to add? It's time to release negative energy. It's time to release negative energy. But it's a full moon in Scorpio. They're trying to show me that this is not going to be easy. There's a sort of a sharpness to it. Oh, look, I've just realised it that way. This is a little bit like Venus standing alone, trying to reach out to Mars. And Mars has got a sting in its tail still. Okay? So, what is Venus saying to Mars? 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 There we go. Hugging and munning. Hugging and thugging. She's saying, look at the bigger picture, my friend. So we've had that separation between them. The crows, the ravens, the black and the white on different frequencies. And she's saying, look, there's a code, there's a new tune, there's a new frequency. Look at the frequency. What's Mars saying? What's Mars saying to Venus? Can't let go. I can't let go. I don't trust you. I don't know. I'm hanging on to what I know. It's not comfortable. What are you doing? Why are you doing this to me? I thought we split up. Go away. That's what Mars is saying. Do we have a little bit of tarot to just go a little bit deeper into something that really doesn't need it doesn't need explaining anymore? Oh, really interesting. Look, it begins with the Seven of Pentacles, which I've been talking too long. The sun's moved. It's like a deep, heavy frequency of a failure to harvest, and yet Mars is moving on. There's a lot of warrior energy in this. There's a lot of fierce frequency. There's a lot of rigidity. There's a lot of that frequency of old earth energy. There's it's Saturn in Taurus, and Saturn's now obviously, as I said, in Aquarius, and that's its home in the old system. It's also Gaia, Uranus's home, and Uranus is in Taurus, and she is about to go, because, I will just explain this quickly. Uranus is also Gaia, the energy frequency of the divine feminine, the creator force that keeps an eye on everything in the cosmos. She's in Taurus and she's about to shake everything up. And so the failure to harvest what we've gone through was part of the cycle of life. It's a grander seasonal thing that's been going on for 200 years. It's been going on for longer, but they're talking about this moment where we've stopped. We're waiting for the energy to move on, and the Sphinx has landed. It's like there's a riddle of life being put out to everybody on a personal level. What is the riddle of your own life? What do you need to transform your life into something much more beautiful and much better? You need the Knight of Cups. You need new emotional language. You need to be less fearful. You need to be in trust. You need to flow, and you need to understand divine timing. So, what's the next part of this? The 19th of August. And I want to say, when I was doing the research into this, sirens, like in the Bone Chapel, went off all around me. This is the day, the 19th of August, before Gaia, Uranus, goes stationary direct. And that's when this chorus of the big outer planets will be having a really big tune, because the inner planets are not retrograde. Mars is not retrograde, Venus is not retrograde, but Mercury will turn retrograde to have another go at Mars after the 27th of September. So on this day, this is when Mercury has finally caught up with Mars. So Mars was leader of the pack. Venus, with her new love tune, has gone past, and he's, I'm not listening to you, I'm not listening to you. And then Mercury is going to catch up. We need to know, what's Mercury going to say? The other thing to talk about is at this point, Mercury is now in Virgo. This takes place in Virgo. And that's one of Mercury's homes. So Mercury is quite emboldened by the frequency of mutable Earth. And there's a trine between the moon at 12 degrees, a grand Earth trine, moon at 12 degrees of Capricorn, Gaia, Uranus at 14 degrees of Taurus, and then Mars and Mercury together at 12 degrees of Virgo. So, what's Mercury saying to Mars? 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 It's saying grow up and begin again. It's time to start over. And it's a really huge energy of Mercury saying you've got to regrow, you've got to change, the song's different. So, what's Mars saying to Mercury? What's Mars saying to Mercury? It's saying, it's Geffen. Geffen is the truth, the collective truth. But I'm getting that sense still that Mars is not listening to that. Mars almost cannot see the wood for trees, is what cannot see the wood for trees because he's burning everything down around him. The birch tree is the first tree that grows in the woods after a fire. So it's about a rebirth, but Mars is just torching everything in its own truth frequency of the old Earth epoch. That's quite disturbing energy, because that's not Mercury. I mean, I think Mercury's just delivering it in a way that Mars ain't happy, but oh my God. It's the tower moment. Look, I know the sirens were going off. This moment on the 19th going into the 20th, when Gaia, Uranus, goes stationary direct, she's like, as I've said before, she's like the grand diva is arriving to bust open everything. So even on a personal level, she's busting open everything. So what else, Tarot, would you like to add to this conjunction between Mercury and Mars? Oh, look, it's a tower moment, as I said. It's bringing the energy of the ace, love. I said this is all about changing our relationship to all our emotions. I saw this card this morning a lot, and I keep being drawn to the kind of pretzel figure in the middle that's a rising fountain of interwoven energies of three somehow, creating a new thing. But there's that sense of, the bread of life. It's love is the bread of life. If we are nourished by love, we are fully nourished. And we have the fall, the new beginning. This is the beginning of the new beginning. This wonderful moment just before the seventh planet, Gaia, Uranus, joins that chorus in a whole act 2 that we don't know of before. So we have that, and then we're going to jump to the 9th of October. Bearing in mind I said that Mercury will again go retrograde on the 27th of September. On the 9th of October, because it's retrograding, it's going to pass back again in front of Mars and have another little word with him. So that takes place at 16 degrees of Libra. So we need to know, what is Mercury's second conversation with Mars about? Oh, look, he's coming back in friendship. It's Vanahamir. It's 13 frequency. It's the borderless, loving, open world. It's like, they're saying it's like the trickster frequency comes back round and just says, do you know what, I had a little chat with you the other day and I was a little bit pushy because I know you don't listen. And I'm just coming back now. I want to offer the hand of friendship to you. I want to really reach out to you, Mars, and just say, things are going to get better, you know? The energies of things are moving for everybody, for everything, for you, the planet Mars, you know, everything. What's Mars going to say back now? Oh, that card really jumped on and they were making kissing noises in my head. Oh, look, it's the birth of a new day. That's really interesting. Oh, that's so sweet. So let's get a little bit of tarot on that quickly. Because this is a long one. And this is going to take like a year to upload. That's sticking. But this card, the Six of Swords, is about new alignments of the heart. It's Mercury in Aquarius. It's Mercury bringing the energy of the stellium in friendship rather than in... because the first time they met, he was in rulership. So Mercury was being a little bit pushy with Mars. And now they're in the balanced place of Libra. He's able to deliver it from a much more balanced partnership, friendship, frequency. And what's Mars's reaction now? What's Mars's reaction now? Oh, it's the Queen of Fire. She's the energy that holds down the fiery rawness, and she just shines with loving, passionate energy. That's so beautiful. So there's one other aspect that we have to look at here, which is at that point on the 9th of October, when Mars and Mercury's moved back and he's having this lovely, sweet little moment, little bromance. By this point, Venus, she's just off. She's already reached Sagittarius, and she's in Sagittarius with the moon, and the moon's going past, having a conjunction at 1945. So let's just see what the moon and Venus are planning. What's the moon and Venus planning? Magic. Magic, ancient magic. This is the trunk of the Yggdrasil tree. They're building the strength. It's like taking the weapons away. That's what I'm seeing. They're saying the weapons, the fires, that's this thing. When Mercury goes and talks in Libra, Mars calms down. He's not in the energy, but he's feeling able to suppress. So there's going to be a lot of fiery, passionate reaction triggers coming in the next few months. But by the 9th, it's about getting a handle on those energies. So, Tarot, what do you want to say about the moon and Venus? 13 frequency again. We're moving to a new energy. We're rebirthing, death and rebirth. There's something they're saying about as Mercury and Mars will move through Scorpio. But I've not looked ahead that far because I was like, with just the information I've got coming for this reading, so you understand that little ballet, I can't keep pushing the time on these things. So, oh look, they've blown that card over because they want to blow a fanfare of appreciation for the new frequencies. Heimdall announces something new that's coming. So I'm shuffling these cards, and rather weirdly, I've turned the deck accidentally face up. And they said, don't change it. Just watch all the different phases of the moon flash by, because we need to understand how the moon plays into all of this as it moves through houses that have no planets and houses that have lots of planets. They're all bringing different energies. Pay attention to the cycles at the moment, and that's the best way in which you can deal with what's coming towards you. 2 cards. Full moon in Taurus and new moon in Virgo. Your dreams need a practical plan, a time to give rather than to take. So it's the frequency of Mars and Mercury, but it's also talking about this new formation that takes place in Virgo season when Gaia, Uranus, goes retrograde from the 20th of August and starts to buzz and shake the foundations of everything. And it's a time to change how we look at things. It's no longer an energy. The Earth frequency of that grand Earth trine is being transformed to accept the new frequencies of Aquarian energy. I'm being shown Saturn and Uranus, it's Gaia, laughing, and I'm being shown them kind of playing in water, splashing around, and just enjoying the fact that they're free to bring a new energy to us and to everything on Earth. So I hope you get a little bit of an understanding from this into how these planetary energies shift and work. I've got to do another Runeraker reading to catch up with Rob and Reem. Also, if you go on my website, there's a page introducing Olga Lamas, the artist who's going to be creating the deck with us. And I'm hoping also to look into the Dance Macabre, because they're saying there's something about the energies of the Bone Chapel in Evra that's yet to be opened to us to help us with this journey. Anyway, wassail beautiful people. I'm very, very hot, so have a lovely day. Bye.